Let's talk about how to season your griddle properly. I've been using my griddle for the past couple of years, and what I found is probably the best way you can season your griddle. Of course, your griddle, once it's seasoned, can last a very long time. All you need to do is add oil every time you use it. Once you clean it and you scrape everything off of it after you're done cooking, just a little bit of a thin layer of oil that you can rub in, and then your griddle is good to go until the next time. But to do that, you need to have an actual proper griddle to start with, properly seasoned. And I want to show you exactly what I do. And this is how I start. I'm actually going to look at the screen while you're watching it as well, just so you can kind of follow what I'm doing. This is a 36-inch griddle. The first thing I do is on a hot stone, on a hot plate, I'm actually going to scrape the biggest residue. And then I will have a little bit of a soapy water solution, and just kind of with a bristle, with a pad, you can have it. There's a bunch of different ones you can buy. Of course, you can check that out below. But I will literally run the soapy water throughout the griddle, throughout the surface, and make sure that it's really clean, really, honestly, I'm really using a lot of elbow grease in here because I want to take care of, obviously, that extra grease. So as you can see, I go from scraping to brushing to now wiping it down with a paper towel to make sure that it's really, really clean. And it's still a little bit dirty, so I'm not done just yet. And this is now the stone. The grill is off, right? So it is off. It's still a little hot because I was burning it just prior to this. So you can still see a little bit of smoke coming off. So I wouldn't touch it with my hands. But as you can see right now, once I've done that, now I go full blast, all burners, high intensity. And as you can see, I'm reapplying, adding some soapy water, and then you can see really the steam helping me do a lot of the work. So that steam is going to help really get off, dislodge all that extra gunk, that extra grease. And with the scraper, I'm going along the edges, along the entire surface. And as you can see, speaking of the surface, you can see how damaged it is. I mean, damaged. There's no more protective anti-non-stick kind of surface on this. If you were to cook like this, it would be terrible. So now let's get seasoning. So the first thing you do, get that griddle at a proper temperature. You want to get some heat on to be able to melt that compound, right? And I'm adding this conditioner, and I will be running it. Of course, you can see the smoke. The smoke is normal. You want that smoke to be happening. I am running that conditioner throughout the griddle, not just the surface, the flat surface, but even the edges. Everything that is solid steel, I want to coat with that conditioner, and it's doing a really good job, and it's really smoking. It is very hot. That's why I'm using some tongs, and you can see. Then I'm going to leave it about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your griddle. High blast heat, get that smoke going. After 10 minutes, I will reapply a second coat, still with that heat going on really, really high. And you can see as I'm applying the coats, I'm going to be doing about 3 to 4 coats, and that's what I recommend if you want to keep that griddle really ready for, an entire season. 3 to 4 different coats, and it darkens the surface of the steel. And right now you can see that the steel is really, really black. The blacker, the better. It's going to create that non-stick surface that we all love, and that's obviously indicative of a really good griddle. So I'm letting that smoke burn it, and I'm going back high heat to make sure that it's burning and it's embedded, that non-stick surface. That oil is being, really just like all over that surface. It's getting stuck to that surface to become a non-stick surface. And as you can see, most of the waiting is just waiting for the griddle to do its thing while it's burning off that conditioner, right? So right now you can see it's burning off the conditioner. It's going perfectly. And as soon as the smoke stops, you know that you're ready for the last coat. And right now I'm doing the last coat still on a really hot griddle because the smoke is going to reappear and burn off that excess oil. I'm just scraping it right now into all of the crevices, all of the, literally all of the edges of that griddle. It's looking fantastic. It's going to, look at that. beautiful. And last bit of touch there is I'm getting that excess oil, that excess conditioner with a paper towel, just going through, just buffing the entire surface. It's going to look beautiful. Look how great that looks already. Really, really dark, really non-stick at this point. And all you need to do is you can start cooking right away. Every time I cook, before I add just a little bit of oil, literally a tablespoon of oil, any type of oil you want, just kind of like get that ready. And then when I'm done, I scrape all the food, all the excess, all the dirt, and then I apply a little bit of oil as well, just to recondition it. But that griddle is ready to go for a super long time. It's going to be ready for the whole season. So clearly it is a process, but it's a process that is so worth it. It took me about 40 minutes to do the entire thing because you're letting it burn off. You're reapplying coats. You're letting that burn off as well. So depending on how many coats you're doing, I believe I did 4 coats. And of course, it's about 5 to 10 minutes per coat of waiting time to let that thing burn off and then reapplying it. But do not skimp on that. Do not skip it. Do not skip those steps because they are so important to make sure that every single time you use that griddle from then on, you're going to have an incredible and easy time to cook on it with a non-stick surface. And it's just going to make it so much easier. You don't want to be, cleaning and all that. It's a mess. And one little tip, never add extra soapy water or water to your griddle to clean it afterwards. Yes, you can add water as you're cooking if you're going to use a little bit of steam, if you're going to cover it and maybe do like some sauteed vegetables. You've got a little oil, maybe a little water to create that steam. But what I'm talking about, do not add soap and water to clean it afterwards, because once you do, it will take that that non-stick ability or properties out, and you'll have to recondition all over again. I'm planning to condition my griddle once more in about, honestly, 8 to 12 months. So it will last almost an entire year, depending on how often you use your griddle. My griddle is used every single weekend. I make a really large breakfast for the family, and everyone enjoys it. And it's always non-stick. So good luck with your griddle.